Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to discuss about the history of Palestine. That is a hot topic from about thousands of years, but in recent years it's also a very hot topic. So today we will discuss about the history and different eras of Palestine. So the history start about 3,300 years ago when the era was of the Prophet Musa, and the Almighty ordered the Prophet Musa alayhi salam to release the Bani Israel from the slavery of the Pharaoh of Egypt. And as all of you know about the story, how the Prophet Musa released the Bani Israel from the Pharaoh of the Egypt. They crossed the river Nile, and the Pharaoh of Egypt with his army was destroyed in the river Nile. And after that they were migrated to near the Palestine. Basically there was a desert, and Prophet Musa said to Bani Israel by the order of Almighty Allah that attack on the Palestine and start to live there. But this was the time when the Bani Israel refused to attack on the Palestine. And they said, "You and your God go and fight the battle. We are not going to fight for you." So, due to their refusal, the Almighty punished the Bani Israel, and they remained about 40 years in that desert. And they lived in different situations here and there, and that was basically punishment by refusing the order of the Almighty. And after 40 years, and in these 40 years, basically the Prophet Musa alayhi salam got the book Torah from the Almighty. And after these 40 years, the Bani Israel, under the leadership of Yusha, attacked on the Palestine and conquered the Palestine. But they cannot rule the Palestine for too many years. Just after the few years, they lost this country first time. And after that, about 300 years, they remain out of this country. So, after passing the 300 years, there was now the time of the Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. So, under the leadership of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, the Bani Israel once again attack on the Palestine, and they once again conquered that country and started to rule on this country. So now this was the second time when Jews conquered, you can say Jews or Bani Israel conquered this Palestine. And in this era, they about 400 years rule on this country. And during these 400 years, the son of the Prophet Dawood alayhi salam was the Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he constructed basically building for the worship of the Almighty Allah, and that building was named as the temple. So this was the time when first time was a temple constructed in the Palestine, and they ruled for about the 400 years. And after the 400 years, there was a country which was getting power, that was the Babylon, which is presently Iraq. And a king of the Babylon was the Bakht Nasr. and he was getting power, so he want to increase his power. To increase his power, he attacked on the Palestine. He want to rule on that country as well. So when he attacked, he conquered that, he defeated the Jews and conquered that city. And after that, approximately a few years, so after the 400 years rule of the Jews at Palestine, now there was another power, and that power was basically the Roman Empire. So now the Roman Empire attacked on this city, and they conquered this country, Palestine, and they started to rule on this country. And they also treat very badly with the Jews. They killed thousands of Jews, and even the situation was so bad. They started to live in the caves near the Palestine to save their lives from the Roman Empire. And once again, this was the time when second time the temple was destroyed, and this time this temple was destroyed by the Roman Empire. So after this, Roman Empire ruled on this country for the about 600 years. So after passing these 600 years, the Roman Empire did a mistake, and that mistake was that they attack on a newly emerging religion, that was the Islam. And as you know, the Islam spread so rapidly that in the next few years they conquered the great Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, which was more powerful empire at that time. So now was the time that the Muslims, they doesn't directly attack on Palestine, but they surrounded that country. So when they surrounded that country, and the Roman Empire, Christians see that now they can't defend himself in this country, so they hand over this country. And this was the era of the Hazrat Umar bin Khattab, when Muslims had conquered the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. And as all of us know about the story, that they just transferred the rule and there was no any battle. This was the first time Palestine comes in the hands of the Muslims. And Muslims rule on this country, and there was no killing or any ill-trait behavior with anyone. And when Muslims conquered this city, then Hazrat Umar allowed all the peoples, they are free in their worship. They can perform freely their religious activities, so there was no strict rule for them, for the Jews, for the Christians, for the Muslims, and all other religions. So this was the basically a victory of the Islam. And after the rule start of the Muslims about 350 years, there was a time that there was start the fights of Muslim between each other. Now Muslim was not as strong as they were 350 years ago. So now, once again, the Christians, they collect their army from all over the Europe and different countries, and they basically once again attack on the Palestine. So, as you know, the Muslim was not as strong as earlier, so they lost this country first time after about 350 years. So, this was the situation when first time Muslims lost the this country, and after that, once again, the role of the Christians start. And after, from this time, about 90 years, they rule on this country. And when second time the Christian conquered this city, there was also they treat very badly and they ill treat with the peoples. They kill the thousands of Jews and thousands of Muslims. There was blood of Muslims in every street. So they treat very badly with everyone. So now the rules about 90 years, and about 90 years there was again Muslim general which we know with the name of Great Salahuddin Ayyubi. So now Salahuddin Ayyubi, once again, he doesn't direct attack on this country, he surrounded that country. And once again, the rule of the country was just hand over to Muslims without any battle, and there was no blood. So, after that, once again, the Muslims' rule start at this country. And Salahuddin Ayyubi follow the rules of the Umar bin Khattab, of the rules of the Islam, and they allow all of the peoples that they are free in their actions, in their religious activities. They forgive the Jews, forgive the Christians, which illiterate very badly, as the 90 year before they conquered this city with Muslims. So now, once again, the rule of the Muslims start, and this is the longest period ever rule on this country, and that is about 800 years. So from now, the conquer of the Salahuddin Ayyubi, Muslims rules on the Palestine for about 800 years. After passing the 800 years, now is the time of the First World War. This was once again, now after 800 years, this Palestine was under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, the great empire of Muslims. And after the First World War, when this Ottoman Empire break into different country due to some nationalists, so this Palestine was went into the hands of the British. And the British had made an agreement with the Jews before the First World War that if they won the war, then they will allow the Jews to construct, to basically lay the foundation of a new of their country in the Palestine. Because before the First World War, the Jews was most powerful persons in the Europe. Basically, they were ruling on their economic. They were ruling on the business, they were ruling on the education, and they were ruling in every field. They were most elite families of the Europe. So the British needs their sports for the First World War. So they made an agreement with them. So after the First World War, the British allow the Jews to come to the Palestine and build their country. So this was the time when Jews comes all from all over the world, and they start to live there. And after that, as we know, that in about 1945, UNO give idea for the give, you can say, an order that 60% Palestine will be under the rule of Israel and 40% will be under the rule of Palestinian, and the Jerusalem will be under the rule of UNO. There was no the government of any country, but the some Arab countries doesn't was not agree with that, so they attacked on the Israel, and Israel defeated these Arab countries with the help of the America and the Russia after the First World War. And this was the time when this small country first time defeated all of the Arab countries. And after passing few years, there was a time, and that was 1967. Once again, the Arab countries attack on the Israel, but just within 6 days, Israel defeated all of these countries. And once again, the Arab countries lost more area of Palestine, and now there was only the Gaza and the West Bank where the rule of there was not rule of the Jews, or all of the area was under the rule of the Jews. And now, as you know, that they are killing thousands of Muslims, their childrens, and they are killing beyond the limits. There's no